All right, we are live. Good evening po sa inyong lahat back there in the Philippines. Good morning from South Carolina, USA. And what you have just seen are some of the pastors that we have, thousands of pastors that we've had as Study Link. Study Link po used to be our review center, which was located in Iloilo, and we catered to let takers in the whole region of Panay and also in Negros. So as you have seen, some of our students were from Bacolod, some of them were from Negros Island, and others are mostly from Panay. All right, so for those of you who are just here for the first time, a lot of you I see are first timers. We welcome you to our YouTube channel, Gurung Pinoy. Please don't forget to like this video. Everyone, please like this video before we start. Also, of course, please subscribe, hit that bell button. We're also live in Facebook today, but what you see on Facebook is just a preview. Okay, so if you'd want an uninterrupted streaming, an uninterrupted discussion of the left items, GenEd and ProfEd, I invite you to please go to YouTube. Okay, in YouTube, it's going to be from the start until the end. All right. So for those of you who are here for the first time, let me just introduce myself very fast. My name is Ma'am Mek Saison Manaay. Mek stands for Maria Eva Claire, so just call me Ma'am Mek. I'm from Iloilo and used to teach in Ateneo de Iloilo. I also went to Saudi Arabia to teach in an international school for 2 years. And currently I'm teaching high school science in Manning High School here in Manning, South Carolina. And so our review center Study Link used to be located in Iloilo, but now, of course, we've already closed the review center since my family and I are already here in the US. All right, so again, I invite all of you to please like this video. Don't forget to like this before we start. Okay, and also please subscribe. Again, those of you who are watching on Facebook, that's only going to be a preview. So if you'd want to watch this video from start until the end, please go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Hello po. Good evening po sa inyong lahat mula sa iba't ibang sulok ng mundo. Okay, so hindi lamang po sa Pilipinas, ang dami na natin sa Pilipinas at meron din po tayong mga classmates na nasa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa. Meron nga rin pong foreigner na nanonood din sa atin. Siguro pareho din naman yung ibang concept sa ProfEd niya at dito sa concepts na ProfEd na dinidiscuss natin for the left. All right? Now, again, this is GenEd and ProfEd discussion. The exclusive materials, all the items, of course, will go straight to our growers. Those of you who are asking what these growers are, okay, or what is Grow, this is Gurung Pinoy Review Online Work Group. Okay, this is our exclusive FB group. Again, please be a part of Grow. It's very cheap. It's very easy. Just send your payment of 250. That's only 250 pesos through Palawan, Cebuana, or ML. The name is there. The name through which you can send your payment. Address is Iloilo City. And again, the phone number is also there. Now, again, the person that you are sending your payment to is my sister-in-law who is in Iloilo City. So right after you have your payment, please do send us your receipts through our Facebook page. That's also Gurung Pinoy. Please also follow or like our Facebook page. So please send us your receipts so that we can easily add you to Grow, okay? Now, again, that's only 250, but the 250 offer would only be until the end of this month, okay? We are going to have another payment, or we will increase our payment by the end of this month. So if you want to just pay the 250 pesos, make sure that you become a member of Grow until July 31 lamang po yung offer natin, 250 pesos, okay? So again, all the items that I'm discussing here are from our letreviewer na book, actual let items. It's our secret weapon, ika nga. So all the GenEd items, ProfEd items, these were from the previous let. So we know that what we're trying to teach you is already targeted. And that is for your goal to hit the term or the names LPT, okay, licensed professional teachers. Okay, so again, please don't forget to be part of Grow. Hindi lamang po yung items na dinidiscuss ko dito yung sinisend ko sa Grow. There are also tons of other exclusive materials, okay? If you're already part of Grow, make sure that you read all those materials, study those materials, and please don't share it with the rest of the people because those are just for you, okay? Those are materials that are exclusive for you since you are members of Grow. Okay, so we start with today's discussion. Again, before we start, please hit that like button. Everybody, please like our video. And please don't forget to get a piece of paper or your notebook and your pen. For those of you who are just here for the first time, please make sure that you have your notebooks with you, your pen, okay? And hit number 1, comment with the number 1 if you are all ready. All right, many of you are ready, and so we start. Again, this is GenEd 1 until 15, and then we also have ProfEd, that's also 1 until 15. All right, we start with question number 1. Cultural differences may cause miscommunication. Normally, Spanish families go for kissing one another, but this is taboo to some Filipino families who, is it letter A, believe that they may lose virginity? Letter B, take it as an affront to elders? Letter C, are scared of being touchy? Or letter D, believe it is necessary? What do you think is the answer for the first question under the category of social studies? Again, for those of you who want to become members of Grow, I've just discussed how you can become members of Grow. Just pay the 250 pesos, and then I have given you the details a while ago. If you did not catch that, then just go back to it right after our live stream. If you cannot get out of the house because nga of the quarantine or because of the ECQ, GCQ, just ask any of your friends, family members to pay. Those of your family members or friends who can go out, and just tell us that your friend or your family member has paid for you. Just send us the receipt. Sir JV, we have our live streams Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 7 p.m. po. That's for July. That's for the entire month of July. Okay, a lot of you have already answered. We go back to our question. Cultural differences may cause miscommunication. Normally, Spanish families go for kissing one another, but this is taboo to some Filipino families who, okay, bakit yung ibang Pinoy na pamilya ay hindi nagkikiss? And the correct answer for this one would be letter B. Take it as an affront to elders. When we talk of the term affront, this means disrespect. Okay, so they think that it is disrespectful to kiss the elders. So usually, some Filipino families would still go for pagmamano. Okay, so wag po nating hayaang mawala yung kultura nating pagmamano. Although it's very common right now to just kiss one another. Okay, so kahit na tito, tita, kinikiss na lang natin. But of course, it's still very important for us to keep our culture intact. Okay, so kahit kami dito, tinuturuan pa rin namin yung aming anak na magmano. Okay. All right. So for number 1, again, that's letter B. Please put a check mark if your answer is correct. I hope you are correct for number 1. We go to question number 2. Almost all nations believe in giving a roof to cover every family's head. How does the government address this? Okay, this is still in social studies. Is it letter A, establishing homes for middle-class families? Letter B, driving squatters along riverbanks? Letter C, developing housing czars? Letter D, creating a cabinet for housing? Okay, what does the government do to fulfill the objective of giving a house to every family? All right, a lot of you are answering letter C. Okay, so again, almost all nations believe in giving a roof to cover every family's head. How does the government address this? Is it through establishing homes for middle-class families, driving squatters along riverbanks, developing housing czars, creating a cabinet for housing? Karamihan po sa inyo, yung sagot ay letter C. So karamihan ba ay tama or karamihan ay mali? All right, the correct answer for this one is letter D, creating a cabinet for housing. That's why we have our National Housing Authority or NHA. Now, in the cabinet of President Duterte, it used to be Vice President Lenny Robredo who was the head of the NHA. Hindi ko lang alam ngayon kung sino na, okay? So I've already told you as an advice, please make sure that you know the heads or the cabinet members of President Duterte before you take the LET. I cannot give you the list because I have tried looking it up online. I cannot find the complete list. Alam ko marami ng pagbabago, so I cannot give you the complete list of the cabinet members of President Duterte. But please make sure that you know the cabinet members head or the cabinet members of President Duterte. Now, bakit letter C ay mali? Ang meaning po kasi ng czar would be authority, someone who's powerful. So when you say developing housing czars, these are businessmen whose business is housing. Okay, so this is like Manny Villar na merong Crown Asia. Okay, so ito po yung mga nagmamay-ari ng mga housing na business. Okay, so that's why we cannot choose letter C. The correct answer is that we have our cabinet member who's the head of the housing, okay, the housing programs of the government, which is what we call nga the National Housing Authority. All right, we go to number 3. It's okay, we move on. It's just one mistake. We are learning by trial and error, and that's one of the best methods of learning. All right, we go to number 3. A kitchen fuel that has caused big conflagration in homes and cities is the letter A, use of firewood. Letter B, use of sawdust as fuel. Letter C, use of gas stove. Letter D, use of biomass. We are very glad na nakahabol po kayo, Sir Anton. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for number 3? Thank you so much, Ma'am Mercy Grace Gayo. She has given 50 pesos to Gurong Pinoy. Thank you po for your support. You have been supporting us several times na nagsisend ng super chat si Ma'am Mercy Grace. No? Thank you po. Of course, you can just hit the $sign na nasa chat box natin if you'd want to support Gurong Pinoy through donating some amount of money. It is not required, but if you'd want to, then that's going to be very much appreciated. Okay, now karamihan na naman sa inyo ay letter C yung sagot. Karamihan kaya ay tama or karamihan naman kaya ay katulad ng previous question, karamihan kaya ay mali na naman? Okay, now the correct answer for this one would be letter C. Letter C po, use of gas stove. That is correct. Ang ating pong hint dito would be cities. Okay, homes and cities. So ano nga ba yung ginagamit na kitchen fuel sa cities? Wala naman nang gumagamit ng firewood masyado sa cities. There is a variation of this question. Merong isang question na yung sabi lang doon ay homes. If that happens, your answer would be firewood. But in this case here, it has the term cities. So your correct answer would be letter C, the use of gas stove. The use of gas stove po. Now, letter D, what is the meaning of biomass? Biomass is a type of fuel that we get from natural resources. So these are from plants. Okay, so plants po is, your biomass is a natural type of fuel, okay, that we get from the plants that we have. Okay, now we go to number 4. The student leader was expelled because, is it letter A, he violated school regulations, he listens to the elders, he was motivated to rebel, he was responsible for his kids? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot sa number 4? Good morning, Sir Napoleon. Meron ka na pong picture, so nakikita na kita. Dati kasi icon lang, no? Yung parang avatar lang. Ma'am JV. Ma'am pala si Ma'am JV. Okay, a lot of you are choosing letter A for number 4. And a lot of you, or all of you, are correct. Okay, so that is correct. Letter A for number 4. The student leader was expelled because when are we expelled from our schools? The main reason is that for school regulations na violation. Okay, so he has violated some school regulations, and that is the reason why he got expelled. So for number 4, the correct answer is letter A. Letter A po. Now we go to number 5. The best source of perfume has been identified by several scientists. One of the most expensive sources is it letter A, gumamela, letter B, shark fin, letter C, shark skin, letter D, ilang-ilang flower. Okay, number 5, category science. Again, for number 5, we are looking for one of the most expensive. One of the most expensive sources is, okay, a lot of you have already answered. The correct answer for this one would be, it's not gumamela. Gumamela is very common. Okay, so nakikita natin yung gumamela. Marami, no? Especially the Philippines, maraming gumamela. And the correct answer for this, for number 5, is ilang-ilang flower. Ilang-ilang po is well known, and it has the scientific name Cananga odorata. It is one of the most expensive sources at isa po siyang ingredient sa Chanel number 5 na perfume. Okay, so it's now become a very expensive source as an ingredient of perfume. Okay, so that's ilang-ilang flower. Kaya po siya tinawag daw na ilang-ilang. Many people believe that it's from the terms ilan-ilan because your ilang-ilang is a very rare kind of flower. Ilan-ilan, kukonti lamang sila. Okay, hindi po siya common. All right, so letter D, ilang-ilang flower is the correct answer. Number 5, letter D. All right, so we go to number 6. Obesity among children was traced to, is it letter A, addiction to television shows, voracious reading of books, frequent visits to shopping malls, letter D, proper watch of diet? Okay, sabi ni Ma'am Arlene, pinalitan ko pa. Sinabi ko nga po sa inyo, usually your first choice is the correct answer. So if you have no valid reason to change your answer, do not change it. Okay, follow your instinct. Okay, we go back to question number 6. Sabi ng question number 6 mo, this is in the category science. Obesity among children was traced to. Ano nga ba yung obesity? Obesity po ay pagiging obese. Okay, meaning sobrang taba ng bata. So this is traced to what? Is it letter A, addiction to TV shows? Letter B, voracious reading of books? Letter C, frequent visits to shopping malls? Letter D, proper watch of diet? The correct answer, of course, would be letter A, addiction to TV shows. So yan yung nangyayari sa bata. Okay, so there are so many research findings that would link addiction to TV shows and obesity. Dahil nga nanonood lang yung bata ng TV, habang nanonood ay kain ng kain, walang ginagawa, no physical activity, no physical exercise. So what happens is that the child becomes fat, okay? The child becomes obese. All right, so the correct answer for this one would be letter A, addiction to TV shows. Proper watch of diet, a lot of you have chosen letter D, proper watch of diet. That means tinitingnan mabuti yung kanyang diet. So that means kumakain siya na maayos. So that cannot be the correct answer. Okay, number 6 is letter A. Again, number 6 is letter A po. All right, we go to number 7. Alin ang wastong pangungusap? Category Filipino. Nanay, ako'y darating dyan. Darating ang nanay ko. Nanay, darating dyan ako. Ako, nanay, darating ako dyan. Thank you, Sir Javier, and welcome po sa ating online class. Ang daming mali ngayon si Ma'am Gemaline. Okay lang po yan. Bawi po tayo. Okay, so again for number 7, our category is Filipino. Now, kung inyo pong napapansin, whenever we discuss GenEd, iba-iba po ang ating mga items. So may English, may Filipino, yung 5 pong categories ng ating GenEd. No? So may English, Filipino, Math, Science, and Social Studies. So kada live stream natin, iba-iba yung mga klase ng questions na meron tayo. Ganyan din po sa LET. Hindi nyo po alam kung ilang items from English yung lalabas. Hindi nyo alam kung ilang items from Math, ilang items from Filipino. When I took the LET, there were only siguro 6 items for English. Then I had maybe 30 items Math. Then 40 items Science. And then siguro yung last 6 items, if I can remember, last 3 items was just Filipino. And meron ding mga lumabas from arts, from humanities. Okay? So kahit wala siya sa competency, marami pong lumabas from humanities when I took the LET. So sa akin nga po, when I was talking to you about my experience on taking the LET, I found GenEd to be very difficult. Okay? So GenEd para sa akin ay mas mahirap dahil kung saan-saan kinukuha yung GenEd na questions. Okay? So my GenEd was just 83%. And I took the LET. And then when I took sa ProfEd naman, ProfEd for me was very easy. So ProfEd po actually is very easy. Marami na din sa inyo dito, lalo na yung mga usual students sa atin nagsasabi na nagiging madali na yung ProfEd. Kasi yung ProfEd, pag inintindi mo lang yung question, nandiyan na po yung sagot sa question. Okay, so yung ProfEd, I found it very easy. My ProfEd rating was 89%. And my major, of course, was biology. And for biology, my major, it was the easiest part for me dahil napaka-basic lamang nung bio na part. But I got just 84%. So when I took the LET, my rating was just 85.6. Top 10 was 85.8. Okay, so I was short by 0.2%. Pero okay lamang po, okay? So I have learned a lot also from my LET experience, and I've, of course, learned so much as a LET lecturer. Okay, so what I have learned through the years of teaching our LET takers, I am sharing with you through our YouTube channel now and also through our Facebook. Okay, now many of you have already answered. The correct answer for this one, very easy. It's letter B, darating ang nanay ko. Okay, so letter B, darating ang nanay ko. Okay, I think a lot of you got the correct answer. Okay. Now we go to number 8. Anong isang bagay na hindi dapat kasangkutan ng isang kagawad ng gobyerno? This is in the category Filipino and Social Studies. Okay, which among these ang hindi dapat kasangkutan ng isang kagawad ng gobyerno? Is it letter A, dapat mamahagi ng pera ng isang kandidato? Letter B, dapat magsumikap, yumaman? Letter C, magtrabaho habang may sahod? Letter D, hindi dapat mamulitika? Alin ang hindi dapat kasangkutan ng isang kagawad ng gobyerno? Okay, a lot of you are choosing letter A, and that is the correct answer. Dapat mamahagi ng pera ng isang kandidato. Ito po yung hindi dapat ginagawa. Okay, hindi dapat. What we are trying to look for is yung hindi dapat ginagawa ng isang kagawad ng gobyerno. Dapat magsumikap yumaman, of course, that's good. Magtrabaho habang may sahod, yes, that's good. We cannot choose letter D dahil meron ng hindi. Okay, which means that this is correct. Okay, hindi dapat mamulitika. Tama naman, hindi dapat namumulitika. So the correct answer would be letter A. Letter A is the correct answer. All right, now we go to number 9. Alin ang ginagawa kung Biyernes Santo? Okay, pag Good Friday, which one do we do? Is it Handa ang Bayan, 10 Utos ng Diyos, Sinakulo, Flores de Mayo? Okay, so karamihan sa ating tanong ngayon, in this discussion, karamihan sa ating items are from Filipino and Social Studies. Wala masyadong English, konti lang yung math. I think meron tayong math. at the last part. Okay, so is it, ano nga bang ginagawa natin kung Biyernes Santo? Handa ang bayan means fiesta. Okay, nagpi-fiesta pa tayo kapag Biyernes Santo. 10 utos ng Diyos, these are the 10 commandments. Cenaculo or Flores de Mayo. Of course, we know Flores de Mayo should be the month-long activity that we have in the month of May. Sayang nga lang, no, in this year, I know wala masyadong Flores de Mayo. The correct answer is letter C, Cenaculo. That's correct. Okay, so this is the reenactment of the last hours of Jesus Christ. So Cenaculo, ito yung tinatawag nating taltal, no? Sa Gimaras, sa Panay, ito yung tinatawag na pagtaltal. Okay, paggunita sa kamatayan ni Jesus. That's correct, Sir Loreto. Alright, now we go to number 10. Ang karapatan mo, ipaglaban mo, still in Filipino. Ano ang ibig sabihin nito? Alamin mo ang iyong karapatang pantao, alamin mo ang karapatan ng mga Amerikano, ipagtatanggol ka ng abogado or tawagan mo ang pulis. Okay, number 10 is still in the categories Filipino and Social Studies. Okay, a lot of you are answering letter A. Alright, so again, the question is, ang karapatan mo, ipaglaban mo. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Is it letter A, alamin mo ang iyong karapatang pantao, your human rights. Alamin mo ang karapatan ng mga Amerikano, ipagtatanggol ka ng abogado, or tawagan mo ang pulis. And the correct answer, I think all of you got the correct answer, and this is letter A. Okay, that's alamin mo ang iyong karapatang pantao. Ang dami sa inyong tama, okay? I think your items are now becoming easier. All right, now we go to 11. Still in Filipino, hindi pangit ang larawan, patlang ang kanyang anyo. Okay, ano yung salita na dapat ay nasa patlang? Is it kapuri-puri, pinapuri-puri, kapurihan, kapuri-purihan? Number 11, ano kaya yung tamang sagot? This is still Filipino. Okay, now many of you, or all of you, are choosing letter A, and that is correct. Okay, so kapuri-puri ang kanyang anyo. Okay, very easy. This is a very easy type of question. Hindi pangit ang larawan, kapuri-puri ang kanyang anyo. Hindi po pinapuri-puri, kapurihan, or kapuri-purihan. The correct answer is letter A for number 11. Now we go to number 12. Okay, this is still Filipino and Social Studies. Nakasalalay sa karunungan ang kaunlaran ng isang bayan. Ito ay pahayag ni. Is it letter A, Jose P. Laurel? Letter B, Fidel V. Ramos? Letter C, Jose P. Rizal? Or letter D, Ramon Magsaysay? Okay, so again, the question is, sino yung nagsabi, sino ang nagpahayag na nakasalalay sa karunungan ang kaunlaran ng isang bayan? Si Jose Laurel ba? Si FVR? Jose P. Rizal? Or si Ramon Magsaysay? All right, a lot of you are choosing letter C for number 12. And the correct answer for this one, who said nakasalalay sa karunungan ang kaunlaran ng isang bayan, ito po ay naging pahayag ni Dr. Jose Rizal, ang ating pambansang bayani. So Dr. Jose Rizal said, on this battlefield, man has no better weapon than his intelligence. Sabi nga ni Dr. Jose Rizal, walang magiging alipin kung walang nagpapaalipin. Okay? So walang nang aalipusta kung walang magpapaalipusta. Okay? So sabi niya, no other force but his heart. Okay, so this was a saying from Dr. Jose Rizal. Now, puntahan ko lang po pa isa-isa itong other choices natin. So, Sepi Laurel, of course, we know him to be the puppet president. He was the president during the Japanese occupation. FVR is well known for Philippines 2000. Okay, so these are some of the things that come out in the LET. Ramon Magsaysay, of course, is known as the man of the masses. Okay, so siya po yung presidente na nag-open sa Malacanang sa mga common tao. And what else? Si Ramon Magsaysay, he died by a plane crash. Ang tawag po, yung pangalan po ng plane kung saan nakasakay si Ramon Magsaysay was Mount Pinatubo. Tandaan niyo po yan. So Mount Pinatubo was the name of the plane that crashed and caused Ramon Magsaysay's death. Now, I have sent last night, I have sent the list of the different presidents that we have and also some of the things that make them famous in GROW. Okay, so those of you who are already in GROW, I hope you have seen our materials. Okay, now we go to 13. Ang diwa ni Claro M. Recto ay laging ipalaganap ang pagka-Pilipino sa sariling bayan. Ayaw ni Recto na tayo ay maging, is it letter A, dami ng dayuhan na bumibili ng kayamanan, that should be kayamanan sa bansa, palahingi ng tulong sa ibang bansa, Pilipinong tumitingala sa dayuhan, may-ari ng lupa ng dayuhan sa Pilipinas. Okay, so sabi daw ni Claro M. Recto, ipalaganap ang pagka-Pilipino sa sariling bayan. So ano yung ayaw niya? Is it dami ng dayuhan na bumibili ng kayamanan sa bansa, palahingi ng tulong sa ibang bansa, Pilipinong tumitingala sa dayuhan, may-ari ng lupa ng dayuhan sa Pilipinas? Okay, so 13. A lot of you are choosing letter C, and that is the correct answer. Okay, so letter C po ang tamang sagot sa ating number 13. Bakit? Dahil lahat ng ito ay kabilang na sa number 13. Okay, so Pilipinong tumitingala sa dayuhan. Ayaw niya na tinitingnan natin ng mataas or mataas ang pagtingin natin sa mga dayuhan. Gusto niya ay tayo ang maging leader sa ating bansa, sa ating sariling bayan. Okay, so that's letter C, Pilipinong tumitingala sa dayuhan. All right, now I am going to give you some more facts about Claro M. Recto na lumalabas din sa LET. Claro M. Recto, of course, is the lolo of Ralph Recto. And also, he is known as the father of the Philippine Constitution. He is also the author of Rizal Law, which is RA 1425. Rizal Law po mandates the teaching of the works, writings of Rizal in all colleges in the Philippines. Okay, so that's the Rizal Law. And he also has the collection of his poems. Meron po siyang book na collection ng lahat ng kanyang mga tula. And the title is Bajo los Cocoteros, or Sa Ilalim ng Niyugan. Okay, so these are some of the important data that we have about Claro M. Recto na lumalabas po sa LET. So make sure that you have that in your notes. Okay, now before we proceed to questions number 14 and 15, I'd like you to please send me your scores right now. Again, our passing percentage is still at 60%, which is 9 out of 15. Okay, so we have 12 out of 13 for Sir Loreto. Good job. Very good. 11. 12. Okay, 11. Okay, now a lot of you have been seeing a lot of improvements, lalong-lalo na sa mga palagian ng nandito, no? Sa mga first-timers, okay lang po yan. Alam natin kayong lahat ay mag-i-improve. Marami po tayong time bago yung LET. Okay, so kapit lamang po kayo, balik po kayo ng balik. Again, we have our live streams Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday at 7 p.m. for the entire month of July. Okay, so balik po kayo. Okay, number 7 na naabutan, okay lang po, pwede nyo pong balikan later. Okay, now we still have the last 2 questions, so make sure that you stay with us. Number 14, this is a math question. Okay, math question. If P is a positive integer in the equation 12P equals Q, then Q must be a, is it letter A, positive odd integer, letter B, negative even integer, letter C, negative odd integer, or letter D, positive even integer? Okay, so 14. Ma'am Alva, ang details po ay nasa sa first part ng ating live stream. So meron po ako dong binigay na details kung saan nyo po kailangang isend ang inyong payment. The payment po is just 250 pesos. Alright, so, or if you can, pwede din po kayong pumunta sa Gurong Pinoy na Facebook page. Nandun din po yung detalye kung paano po kayo makakasali sa Grow. So, bayaran nyo lamang po yung 250, doon nyo po ipapadala sa pangalan, address, at yung phone number na nandoon. And then, isend nyo po sa amin yung inyong receipt. And then we will be adding you to Grow. So again, please make sure that you become members of Grow before the end of this month, because after this month po, we will be increasing the price for Grow. Okay, so we are giving priority to those people who have already become members of Grow in this month of July. Okay. So nanghula na yung iba, no? Hula lang. Kalaban ang 14, Sir Felix. Okay, so again, sabi ng question dito, if P is a positive integer in the equation 12P equals Q, then Q must be A. Now, when you say integer po, this is any whole number. So it can be a negative or positive whole number. Kasama din po yung zero. Basta walang fraction, basta walang decimal, so that would be integer. So wala pong fraction at hindi po decimal. So any whole number is an integer, negative, positive, kasama na po yung zero. Now we also know the terms odd and even. Of course, when you say even, ito po yung mga walang remainder, okay? So when you divide it by 2, wala po siyang remainder. So your even numbers would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. Your odd numbers would be 1, 3, 5, etc. Okay, so the question is, if P is a positive integer, then Q must be A. Then of course, you can do substitution. For example, you put P as a positive integer siya, di ba? So, pwedeng pag ginawa mong 1 yung P, 12 times 1 would be 12. So, this is the value for Q. Pag ginawa mong 2 ang P, okay, so 12 times 2, that is going to be 24. Pag ginawa mong 3 ang P, that would be 36. Pag ginawa mong 4, that would be 48, and so on. So the correct answer would be, tingnan niyo po yung ating sagot, those are positive, even integers. So your correct answer would be letter D. Okay, letter D is the correct answer for number 14. All right, now we go to number 15, last question in our GenEd today. Okay, if the value of a diamond ring appreciates at a yearly rate of 18%, how much will be its cost in 5-year time if the initial cost is 25%? Okay, is it 47,060, 57,193.94, 48,469.40, or 60,175.60? Okay, sabi ni Ma'am Chantal, paubaya na muna sa math. Try solving it. Kaya niyo po yan. Pass? Ma'am Camille, pass na muna sa number 15. Remember, if you don't try, then you'll never know. Okay, so just try. Do not be scared of math. Marami kasi sa atin pag nakakita na ng numbers, natatakot na, di ba? Okay, do not be scared. Once, hindi ka matututo sa math kung hindi mo siya nilove, kung hindi mo siya na-appreciate. So, dapat talaga i-enjoy mo muna yung numbers bago mo siya ma-appreciate, bago mo siya masagutan ng tama. Ano yung sagot mo, Sir Felix, is 125,000. So that means letter E, wala sa choices yung sagot mo. Okay, now some of you are answering A, D, and so on. Sir Rolando, yung bayad po natin is 250 only. And the details po are found in the first part of this discussion, also in our Facebook page. So make sure that you check that po. Okay, so sabi ni Ma'am Rafaela, math is just a number. Okay, now going back to our problem here. Remember that your formula for the interest would be interest equals principal, which is the original cost, times rate. Rate is the number which has the percentage sign, plus time. Time po, alalahanin natin or dapat nating malaman o dapat nating ma-remember na time in this case would be counted in years. Okay? Naka-count po siya in years. Pero yung problema kasi sa ating question dito, this is not a simple interest problem. This is a compounded interest problem. That means nag-a-add up po yung kanyang interest dahil sabi, it appreciates yearly. Okay? At a yearly rate of 18%. So kada taon po, 18% yung pagtaas ng interest. Okay? Now, how do we solve this? Okay, so we start with the first year. So sabi is principal. Principal is the original price of 25,000 times the rate, which is 0.18. We just converted this to decimal form. And we get, of course, we should multiply it by 1 year. So hindi ko na po nilagay yung times 1 because we know that any number multiplied by 1, the answer would just be that number. Okay, so I've just neglected the number 1 na. Okay, and the answer for this, 25,000 times 0.18 is 4,500. Okay, that's the interest. This is your interest for the first year. So we add that to our principal. So that means, pagkatapos ng first year, ito na yung babayaran mo. Now, sabi ng question mo, kada taon, nag-i-increase siya ng 18%. So that means, gagawin din natin yan for the second, third, fourth, and fifth year. So, pupunta na tayo sa second year ngayon. Second year, ito na yung magiging original price natin. 29,500 times 0.18. And then, we already have this as the interest. We add that to this amount. Okay, so by the end of the second year, 34,810 na po ang iyong babayaran. We do that again for the third year. Okay, so ganun pa rin po yung ating computation. So by the third year, ito na po yung babayaran, 41,075.8. Now, after that, after the fourth year, your pera, your utang would now be 48,469.444. So kada taon po, nag-i-increase siya ng 0.18. Okay, so pataas ng pataas, okay, because it is compounded interest nga. So by the end of the fifth year, when you have this as your payment for the fourth year, kinuha mo ulit yung 18% niyan. So that means your payment now, your interest is 8,724, and we add that to 48,469.444. By the end of the fifth year, your payment is letter B. Okay, so that's letter B, 57,193.94. So letter B po is the correct answer for number 15. Okay, so that would be the correct answer for number 15. Again, if it is just simple interest, you can just use this. Okay, interest would just be principal times rate. Ito po yung number na may percentage sign. And time should be in years. Now, kung simple interest lamang po siya, for example, pag sinabi na a diamond ring costs 25,000 and it has its interest is 18% for 5 years. For example, hindi po sinabi na yearly ay tumataas siya. Pag ganun lamang po yung ating question, po pwedeng diretso nyo na lamang po na i-multiply yung 25,000 by 0.18 by 5, which is 5 years. Okay, the time here should be in 5 years. And yun na po yung answer nyo. Pero sinabi kasi dito, yearly rate tumataas siya every year by 18%. So we need to get 18% of the interest every year. Okay, 18% po yung interest natin kada taon. So yung nag-a-add up po yung interest, and that means the correct answer would be letter B. Okay, letter B po ang ating tamang sagot for number 15. Okay, nakahula na naman ang tamang sagot. Sorry, math. Okay, now I know. Okay, now sabi nga po sa math, in math, you can kill a cat in several ways. Okay, so po pwede kayong mag-come up with the correct answer using different formula. As long as tama yung sagot nyo sa math, okay lang po yan. Okay, so trial and error. Po pwedeng trial and error. All right, now we go to our break. We take the break first before we go to our ProfEd. Okay, so mag-break po muna tayo. Balikan ko lamang po ang ating live stream dito. So again, if you are watching through Facebook, please go to YouTube. Transfer na po kayo sa YouTube dahil matatapos na po yung preview natin sa Facebook. All right, let's take a 5-minute break. So we'll come back by 7:52. All right, and we're back, and we continue with ProfEd. Okay, now before we start again, please make sure that you like this video. Sa lahat ng mga classmates natin na hindi pa nagla-like ng video na to, please do like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell notification, make sure that you are going to be notified of our new videos or new live stream. But again, of course, our schedule of the live streams for this month of July would be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday, 7 p.m. po. That's Philippine time. Okay, and also those of you who haven't liked our Facebook page, make sure that you also like it. Paramihin din po natin yung mga followers natin at likers natin sa ating Facebook page. Our Facebook page is also Gurong Pinoy. Make sure that you have the correct Gurong Pinoy Facebook page and the correct logo is found there, okay? Now, we go to ProfEd. Again, ProfEd is still 15 items. Please write the numbers 1 until 15, okay? And we proceed with question number 1. Okay, number 1. In testing, which of the following is referred to as a cultural bias? Is it letter A, test items are more familiar with some culture? Letter B, advanced culture do better on tests than the others? Letter C, tests will show who is more cultured? Or letter D, cultured people do better on tests? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for number 1? Number 1, ProfEd. Okay, some of you are already answering. Some more answers, please. So sabi dito ng ating question, in testing, sa pagtitest, which of the following is referred to as a cultural bias? Kailan nagkakaroon ng cultural bias sa testing? Okay, kailan nagiging bias culturally ang isang test? Is it letter A, test items are more familiar with some culture? Letter B, advanced culture do better on tests than the others? Letter C, test will show who is more cultured? Or letter D, cultured people do better on tests? Now, kung inyo pong mapapansin, ang letter B mo at letter D are the same. Advanced culture do better, cultured people do better. Okay? So pareho lang po yan. Pareho lang po yung letter B and D mo. Iba lang yung words na ginamit. So that means you can already eliminate B and D. You are just left with A and C. Between A and C, alin kaya yung tamang sagot? And the correct answer for number 1, ProfEd, is letter A. Test items are more familiar with some culture. Ito po yung tinatawag nating cultural bias. Hindi mo siya ma-answeran ng tama dahil hindi ka familiar sa question. Okay? Kunwari, yung question, I'm so sorry for using this as an example, but I know that some of our classmates here, some of our students online are Muslims. So for example, yung tanong about Islam. And of course, some of us who are not Muslims are not familiar with the religion or with their beliefs. And so we cannot get the correct answer dahil nga hindi natin alam, wala tayong knowledge about their culture, about their religion. Okay, so that means may cultural bias na yung test. Okay, so test items are more familiar with some culture. In our example, that's based on religion. Okay, so number 1 is A. Number 2, which of the following is the best situation where you can balance right and authority? Nasaan dito yung may magandang balance between right and authority? Is it letter A, allow your only daughter's suitor to come and go as he pleases? Letter B, censor your only daughter's suitor? Letter C, choose a life partner for your only daughter? Or letter D, guide your daughter in her choice of a boyfriend? Welcome po, Mama Risa. Sa mga first-timers dito, welcome po kayo sa ating online class, sa ating online classroom. Make sure that you subscribe po, you hit that like button, and also come back on Saturday. Okay, so our schedule po is Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 7 p.m. Philippine time. I know that some of our classmates also here are in other countries. Okay, so yung reference po natin would be yung time sa Pinas. Okay, a lot of you are answering letter D, and that is the correct answer. Okay, letter D, that's the correct answer. So you can balance your right as a parent and also your authority by just guiding your daughter. You cannot just choose a life partner for your daughter. Don't choose a life partner for your daughter. You also cannot be too lax that you only allow your daughter's suitor to come and go anytime kahit na midnight na, no? Kahit madaling araw na. So the correct answer here would be letter D. Okay? Now we go to number 3. Which of the following will you do to an examinee you caught cheating and who offered you a certain sum of money to keep quiet? Is it letter A, motion him to keep quiet and wait for him after the examination? Letter B, confiscate his test paper and report him to the examination supervisor. Letter C, announce to all examinees the name of the cheater. Letter D, ignore him but let him feel that you saw him. Good evening po, Ma'am Ruvilia, Ma'am Antonia Pecayo, kakaumpisa lamang po nila. Okay, so make sure that you tune in to us on Saturday po. Saturday po yung next nating live stream. Make sure that you tune in by 7 p.m. or maybe 15 minutes prior to that. Okay, a lot of you are already answering number 3. So you have caught someone cheating in an exam and he offered you a certain sum of money, certain amount of money. What are you going to do? Should you tell him to keep quiet and wait for him after the examination? Confiscate his test paper and report him to the examination supervisor? Letter C, announce to all examinees the name of the cheater. So ipapahiya mo siya. Okay, Ma'am Tessie Saison, welcome po. Or ignore him but let him feel that you saw him. The correct answer, of course, would be letter B. Confiscate his test paper and report him to the examination supervisor. You know that he has been cheating and you know na hindi na valid yung kanyang test. So wag mo na siyang pahirapan pa at wag mo na siyang pagurin pa na tapusin pa yung test. Wag na. Kunin mo na lang yung test paper, confiscate it, and report him to the examination supervisor. All right, so that is the correct answer for number 3. Now we go to number 4. Measuring the work done by a gravitational force is a learning task. At what level of cognition is this? Is this letter A, application, letter B, knowledge, letter C, evaluation, or letter D, comprehension? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot sa number 4? Ma'am Eileen Guda, yung live stream po natin is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 7 p.m. for July. 7 p.m. po, Philippine time. So again, Martes, Huwebes, at Sabado po. So that means the next time that we see each other will be on Saturday, 7 p.m. or 10 minutes prior to that. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot sa number 4? O, iba-iba na yung sagot nyo. May A, B, C, D na. Okay, now again, the question is measuring the work done by a gravitational force is your learning task. That's your objective. At what level of cognition is this? Okay, now remember that based on Bloom's taxonomy, Bloom already has 2 versions of his taxonomy. The old one has evaluation, synthesis, analysis, application, comprehension, and knowledge. Now, knowledge, comprehension, application are all found in the lower order thinking skills. At yung evaluation, synthesis, analysis mo naman po, these are your HOTS, higher order thinking skills. Now, kung inyo pong napapansin, meron ng new version ng Bloom's taxonomy, and in this new version, yung pagkakaiba po is that instead of using nouns, he has already used verbs. Okay, so verb na po, action words na yung ginamit niya, and sinwitch niya po yung evaluation and synthesis. Okay, so yung pinakamataas na ngayon in the new Bloom's taxonomy would be creating, which is equal to synthesis. All right, now if you want to get the nakita na yung tamang sagot, no? Now, going back to our question here, it says measuring. You are measuring. So now this is part of your application. When you say application, of course, you can already transfer your learning. Okay, you can already measure. You can already use another skill. Okay, the correct answer here would be application. And if you want the complete discussion on this, we already have a video that is part of our ProfEd na playlist. The title po of the video would be Marzano and Kendall's New Taxonomy, Let Updated Reviewer 2020. In that video po, I have discussed the new taxonomy according to Marzano and Kendall. And binalikan ko din po, diniscuss ko din pa isa-isa itong Bloom's taxonomy, the old one and the new one. Okay, so make sure that you write a reminder. You write a reminder on your notebook. This is your Marzano and Kendall's new taxonomy na video that is already found in our ProfEd playlist. Now, also a very good suggestion that I can give you is you complete watching all the ProfEd videos that we have. And of course, if this is your first time to join us, also, please make sure that you watch all the previous live streams that we have. We also have our playlist on GenEd and ProfEd live streams. Okay, lahat po nung naging discussion natin ay nandun na. All right, so again, this is the old version and the new version. Our answer for number 4 would be application. Application na po ito, measuring. You are using your skill, okay, to do certain tasks. Now, as teachers, we have the complete list of verbs that we can use in making our objective. So, kunwari sa level na remembering, ano ba yung mga verb na pwede natin gamitin? So, you can use name, identify, list. Okay, so those are some of the terms, some of the verbs, some of the words that we can use when we are making certain objectives, especially at the different levels of the taxonomy. Now, for our growers, for all those exclusive members of our GROW, which is Guru Pinoy Review Online Work Group, I will be sending you today the list of our verbs that are used in the different levels of our taxonomy. Okay, so abangan nyo po yan today. I will also be uploading different materials today. Okay, so again, for those of you who are still not members of GROW, make sure that you become members of GROW. It's only 250 until the end of this month. Once nag-end na po yung month, we are going to revise, we are going to change the price. Okay, so 250 is already very cheap. You can just send your payment through Palawan, ML, and Cebuana. The details po are found at the beginning of this video. Okay, hello po, watching from Calamba, Laguna. Hello po. All right, now we go to number 5. During the first grading period, a student obtained failing marks in 5 academic subjects. Which of the following tasks would best explain his performance? Is it letter A, mental ability, letter B, personality, letter C, attitude, or letter D, aptitude? Okay, ano kayang makaka-measure correctly ng naging performance ng iyong estudyante? Sabi dito, first grading, 5 academic subjects yung na-fail ng student. Okay, so which of these tasks would best explain this performance? What can you use to gauge, to assess his performance or his level? What can best explain this situation? All right, now we go back. So again, during the first grading period, a student obtained failing marks in 5 academic subjects. So alalahanin po natin, 5 academic subjects po yan, meaning mga major subjects po. Which of the following tasks would best explain his performance? Is it letter A, mental ability of the student, his personality, his attitude, his aptitude? So again, when you're talking about aptitude, this is just measuring, or this is trying to find out whether the student is suited for that course. Okay, that's why we have what we call the teacher's aptitude test. Chine-check niya kung suited ka as a teacher. Meron din tayong tinatawag na NAT, which is the nursing aptitude test. Chine-check niya kung suited ka bilang isang nurse. Okay, so kung akma sa inyo ang kursong ito, that's aptitude. Is it attitude or personality? Okay? The correct answer for this one would be mental ability. Mental ability po yung tamang sagot natin. Kailangan nating malaman bakit 5 academic subjects niya yung na-fail. Okay, so we need to check the mental ability of the student. Baka naman failed siya kahit na anong gawin niya dahil hindi niya kayang maabot yung level na yon. Baka naman meron siyang mental disability, meron siyang learning disability, or pwedeng yung IQ niya is lower than the IQ of his peers, than the IQ of his classmates. Okay, maybe he is a student with special needs. Okay, so the best way for us to know, to check his performance is going to be his mental ability. So, kailangan i-check yung mental ability niya dahil 5 academic subjects talaga yung na-fail niya. Okay, so letter A is the correct answer for number 5. Now, we go to number 6. Of all the following types of tests, which is the most subjective in scoring? Is it letter A, matching type, letter B, simple recall, letter C, multiple choice, or letter D, essay? Okay, number 6. Ano kaya yung tamang sagot? O, Ma'am Shanta, letter A na yung sagot mo, pinalitan mo pa eh. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, usually, your first choice is the correct answer. So if you have no valid reason, don't change your answer. Okay, we're already at number 6. So sabi ng question number 6 mo, of the following types of tests, which is the most subjective? Pag sinabi mo pong most subjective, that means the scoring is dependent on the teacher. Napaka-subjective niya, meaning ay may personal bias yung teacher. Okay, so which one is the most subjective? Is it matching type, simple recall, multiple choice, or essay? And the correct answer here would be letter D, essay. Kasi po yung matching type nyo, simple recall, multiple choice, meron siyang isa lamang na sagot. Okay, so meron siyang isang tamang sagot lamang. Convergent po yung mga klase ng questions na meron tayo in these types of tests. Pero yung essay kasi, iba-iba yung maaaring maging sagot ng estudyante. So kalimitan nagiging subjective yung ating pag-check, no? Kalimitan nga nakabase sa penmanship. Kung maganda yung pagkakasulat, maganda yung sulat kamay ng bata, minsan mas mataas yung score na naibibigay ng teacher. So para maiwasan po ito, yung one way po para maiwasan itong pagiging subjective natin sa pagsuscore ng essay is to cover the names of the child or of the student. I-cover niyo po yung name ng inyong estudyante para hindi niyo makita kung kanino bang gawa ito, kung honor student ba ito, or is this someone who's not doing very well in your class. So you cover the name of the student, and also the best method for you to avoid being subjective is to make your scoring guide. Dapat mo meron kayong rubric. Okay, so meron talaga kayong scoring guide, meron kayong rubric para hindi maging subjective yung scoring nyo. At dapat po malaman din niyo, you keep in mind what your objectives are. Hindi dapat na science teacher ka, yung question mo, for example, is what is photosynthesis, or explain photosynthesis in 5 sentences. Okay, so dapat yung pag-check mo ay base sa scientific side ng photosynthesis. Kung wala ka kasing rubric, kung wala kang scoring guide, pwedeng malito ka din sa checking. Maaring i-check mo pati yung grammar ng student. Hindi mo naman kailangang i-check yon dahil nga science teacher ka at yung scientific concept lang yung chine-check mo. So dapat when you are checking an essay, nakatago yung pangalan ng bata, you cover the name of the student, and you have your rubric or your scoring guide, okay, to avoid being subjective or to avoid being biased in your checking of your essay. Okay, so then letter D, essay, is the correct answer. Number 7. In which of these research methods can the researcher control certain variables? Is it A, experimental, letter B, descriptive, letter C, historical, letter D, comparative? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot sa number 7? Okay, so sabi ni Ma'am Juvie, no, minsan kung sino yung may mas mahabang sagot, yun yung highest or high ang score. Okay, mahabang sagot minsan, out of topic naman. Mas malala pag yung teacher hindi binabasa, no? So titingnan lang, oy, maganda yung sulat kamay at mahaba. So perfect ka agad. Ma'am Halia? Okay lang po yan, ma'am. Go lang po ng go. Especially if you are first-timers, medyo nakakalito talaga kung paano mo sagutan yung ProfEd. Pero don't give up po. Your classmates, yung classmates mo dito sa ating online class can attest that their scores, their understanding, their technique of answering ProfEd questions have improved. Okay, so balik lang po kayo ng balik, practice lang po ng practice, do not give up po. Okay, so again, for number 7, the question is, in which of these research methods can the researcher control certain variables? Is it experimental, descriptive, historical, comparative? All right, now if you are members of GROW, I have already sent you the different research methods last night. Okay, so meron na po tayong material doon on the different types of research methods. Kadalasan din po itong lumalabas sa LEP. Okay, so kung hindi ka pa po member ng GROW, make sure na magpa-member na po kayo. Okay, so you can also avail all the exclusive materials that we have there. Now we go to the different choices that we have. Experimental, of course, this is a type of research that requires experimentation. So meron kang independent variable, meron kang dependent variable, meron kang controlled variables. Okay, you are going to perform an experiment. Descriptive method naman in research, hindi siya quantitative, no? So qualitative siya. Usually, you get your data through surveys. So nagsasurvey ka. Historical naman, it is somewhat similar to your descriptive, pero yung descriptive mo would be tackling present time. Yung historical mo would be looking at the history. Okay, to be able to understand what we have at present, babalikan niya yung history. Comparative naman, of course, you are comparing subjects, you are comparing studies. Okay, you are comparing several factors. And the correct answer for this would be letter A, experimental. Okay, so number 7, letter A, because when we are conducting our experiments, we have the different types of variables. So we have the controlled variables, independent variable, dependent variable. Your science majors know this, and we are also going to have these items in our future GenEd discussion and also ProfEd discussion. Okay, so make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell button, also follow our Facebook page, and also go back on Saturday, that's 7 p.m. Again, we have our live streams Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 7 p.m. Philippine time. Okay, so number 7 is letter A. That's correct. We go to number 8. Under which of the multiple choice type of test can this question be classified? Which of the following statements expresses this concept in different forms? Is it letter A, association, letter B, definition, letter C, difference, or letter D, pause? Sir Erickson, thank you po. You're welcome. So balik lang po kayo ng balik para marami po kayong matutunan. Okay, so again, you have a question here for number 8. Binigyan ka ng question na which of the following statements expresses this concept in different forms? And what type of question, under what type of question can we classify this? Is it an association question, definition, difference, or pause? A lot of you are answering letter C. A lot of you kaya ay tama or a lot of you are mali? Okay, again, going back to your question. Yung question is, which of the following statements expresses this concept in different forms? Alin sa mga sumusunod na statement, sa mga sumusunod na pangungusap, ang nagsasaad ng kaparehong konsepto pero gumagamit ng ibang mga salita, okay? So ibang klase lang ang kanyang form, no? Ibang klase lang yung pag-state niya ng konsepto. So what type of multiple choice question is this? The correct answer here would be letter A, association. Dahil meron kang statements, for example, tinatanong ka kung ilan or alin sa mga statements na ito yung nagbabahagi ng the same scientific concept or the same concept pero sa ibang paraan. So that would be association. Okay? Association po yung tamang sagot sa number 8. Hindi po siya definition, hindi po siya difference. Okay? So I think a lot of you have picked the term or choice C na difference because of the term different, no? Okay? So intindihin po nating maigi yung ating question. Intindihin pong maigi. So the correct answer would be for number 8, that's letter A, association. Okay, yan na naman tayo. Sabi ni Sir Rolando, nag-change pa ako. Sabi ko sa inyo, kalimitan, your first choice is the correct answer. So if you have no valid reason, don't change your answer. Okay, now we go to number 9. Setting up criteria for scoring an essay test is meant to increase its objectivity, reliability, validity, usability. Okay, number 9. Ano kaya yung tamang sagot? I've already explained number 9 a while ago, okay? So sabi, bakit nga ba may scoring criteria tayo? Bakit meron tayong scoring guide whenever we make or we check the essay test? Bakit? Okay, kakasabi lamang po. Tama ho yan. Sabi ni Sir Loreto, kakasabi lamang. Your number 9, of course, that is to increase its objectivity. Para maging objective tayo, meaning hindi tayo subjective. Ang kaibahan po ng objective at subjective is that pag sinabi mong objective, wala kang bias. Fair ka. Pag sinabi mo namang subjective, ay depende sa iyo yung pagsuscore. Depende sa iyo yung pag-i-interpret ng essay. Okay? So, for us, whenever we check the essay test, gumagamit tayo ng scoring guide para maging objective tayo in scoring it. Para wala tayong bias, para hindi tayo maging subjective. So letter A is the correct answer. Now, what is the meaning of these 3 different terms? Ang reliability po means the consistency of the scores. Okay? Consistency of the scores of the students when taking a test. So paulit-ulit na tinake yung test, the same pa rin yung nagiging score ng student. That's reliability. Ang validity naman po, this means the test is really trying to measure what it intends to measure. Okay, so that's validity. All valid tests, meron po sa LET, nakikita nyo yung statement na to, isulat nyo po yan sa inyong notebook. All valid tests are reliable, but not all reliable tests are valid. Again, all valid tests are reliable. Lahat po ng valid na test ay reliable, but not all reliable tests are valid. Maaaring pare-pareho, consistent yung score ng student, pero yung test mo ay hindi valid. Hindi siya nag-measure kung ano talaga yung gusto mong i-point out or i-check na objectives. Ang usability naman, this means the test is very easy to use. The test items can be applied to daily living. Okay, so that's usability. The correct answer for number 9, again, we've already mentioned this. This is objectivity. We have our scoring guide, scoring rubric, because we want to be objective. We don't want to be biased in our scoring of the essay test. Okay, so number 9, that's objectivity. Number 10, what should a teacher do before constructing test items or items for a particular test? Is it letter A, prepare for a table of specification, prepare your TOS? Letter B, review the previous lesson? Letter C, determine the length of time for answering it? Letter D, announce to students the scope of the test? Okay, so ano kaya yung tamang sagot sa number 10? Before you make your test, before you construct a certain test, for example, summative test mo siya, first grading period na test, what are you going to do first? Okay, a lot of you are answering letter A, and that is the correct answer. Okay, so you prepare your TOS or table of specification. Very common question in the LET is that in the parlance of educational terms, what is the meaning of TOS? Okay, so you know TOS to be table of specification. Ano nga ba yung ginagawa sa table of specification? Nandyan po lahat ng objectives nyo at nilalagay nyo din po yung mga questions na maaring mag-fall in that certain objective. Now, yung isang rule po in making your TOS is that kung mahaba yung ginugol mong panahon in a certain objective, dapat marami din siyang items sa yung test. Okay, so pag diniscuss mo, for example, the laws of motion according to Newton or Newton's laws of motion, if you've discussed the topic for 5 days, for example, and then you have another topic which is kinematics, okay, introduction lang sa kinematics. Pag mas mahaba yung discussion mo sa laws of motion, dapat mas marami kang items na ganyan sa test mo, okay? Pag yung kinematics na isang araw mo lamang, your introduction to kinematics na isang araw mo lamang diniscuss, dapat kukonti lang din yung item na meron ka sa test mo. Okay? So that's your table of specifications. Alright, so review the previous lesson, hindi po. Determine the length of time. Pagkatapos mong gumawa na ng test, pwede mong i-determine the length of time na pag-answer mo sa test na to. No? So kalimitan, yung mga supervisors natin, when I was still in Ateneo de Iloilo, pagkatapos mong gumawa ng TOS mo, table of specification mo, and then gumawa ka na ng test mo, sasabihin sa amin ng principal namin, for example, or yung aming supervisor na or coordinator na itry mong sagutan yung test kung ilang minuto mo masasagutan. So dapat time-bound din siya. Kung 1 hour lang yung test nila, dapat ipasok din siya sa 1 hour. Hindi po pwedeng masyado siya maiksi, hindi din po pwedeng masyado siya mahaba na hindi na matatapos ng bata yung test mo. Okay, so this is usually done after you've already constructed your test. Announcement to the students, of course, alam mo na meron ka ng test, alam mo na yung mga items mo sa test. Kaya sinasabi mo, in our test, there's going to be 25 items multiple choice, there's going to be 10 items computation, and so on. So meaning, nakapag-construct ka na ng test mo. Okay, so the correct answer for number 10 is table of specification. That's letter A. All right, now we go to number 11. You have a pupil who is so talkative, naughty, and aggressive that he is a burden to the entire class. How would you remedy this problem? Will you, letter A, call the parents for a dialogue? Letter B, report the case to the principal? Letter C, reprimand him in front of the class? Or letter D, talk to him seriously and find out what's wrong? Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot sa number 11? Alright, again, shout out po sa lahat ng mga students natin, lahat ng mga classmates natin na first time lamang na nandito sa ating live stream. Again, we have our live stream discussions Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday nights, 7 p.m. po, 7 o'clock, Philippine time. So make sure that you tune in 10 minutes, 5 minutes prior to that. For you to be notified, make sure that you subscribe, you hit that bell button. So besides subscribe po na term dyan, sa right part po ng subscribe, tingnan nyo po yung bell button, i-hit nyo po yan, and choose all. So that means every time that I post a new video or every time that I post something in my community or I announce something, then you are going to be notified. Malalaman nyo po pag meron tayong video. So, minsan kasi yung iba sa inyo, nagtatanong paano ko po malalaman kung meron na live stream? Bakit po hindi ako na-notify? Okay, so make sure that you hit that bell notification and you select all. You subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, if you can, follow us and like us on Facebook. That's still Gurong Pinoy. Look for our official Facebook page. Marami na pong ibang Gurong Pinoy na pages. Yung iba po doon ay hindi po kami, okay? So make sure that it's the right Gurong Pinoy. It's the one with the 5 stars, okay? And it's the one with the most number of followers and likers on Facebook, no? Compared po sa ibang Facebook pages na meron na Gurong Pinoy din yung ginawa nilang pangalan. And also, if you can join Grow, then make sure that you also join it. It's very easy, very cheap to join. And I'm sending you a lot of materials in Grow. Okay, so for number 11, meron kang isang estudyante, very talkative, naughty, aggressive, na nagiging pabigat na siya. Okay, how would you remedy this problem? The correct answer, of course, would be, the first step muna, is to talk to him seriously and find out what's wrong. Okay, so siya muna yung i-approach mo, siya muna yung kausapin mo. Before ka pa mag-call sa parents, before ka pa mag-report sa principal, unahin mo munang kausapin yung bata. Do not reprimand him in front of the class. Reprimanding him in front of the class, that means pagagalitan mo siya sa lahat ng klase, huwag niyo pong gagawin yan, okay? If that's the case, sometimes po ay mas nagiging malala pa, okay? Nagiging malala pa yung estudyante mo. So the correct answer is letter D, talk to him seriously and find out what's wrong. All right, now we go to number 12. which of the following is the best situation wherein you can balance responsibility and accountability? Letter A teacher paid on an hourly basis takes her time with the subject matter until the end of the period. Letter B, a teacher paid on an hourly basis teaches as little as she could for the duration of the period. Letter C, a teacher paid on an hourly basis spends most of the time on the latest gossips in showbiz. Letter D, a teacher paid on an hourly basis entertains her students with stories until the end of the period. Ano kaya yung tamang sagot sa number 12? Sir Romy said, still watching po, duty ngayon sa East Avenue Medical Center, Quezon City. Ingat po kayo, stay safe po. Lahat tayo, stay safe. Alam natin na meron tayong pandemya ngayon, no? So, we have to make sure na doble ingat tayo, do not get sick, and also protect our families from getting sick. Thank you so much, Sir Erickson. Also, Sir Napoleon, salamat po sa inyong comment. Okay, no? A lot of you are answering letter A. So sabi dito, lahat naman sila pare-pareho. Hourly basis ang kanilang bayad. So kada oras or orasan yung kanyang bayad, no? So yung payment sa kanila is per hour. So which one is responsible and accountable? Okay, saan dito yung pinakamaganda? The correct answer, of course, would be letter A. A teacher paid on an hourly basis takes her time with the subject matter until the end of the period. So ito yung pinakatamang sagot natin dito. Sabi until matapos yung period. So ini-exhaust talaga ni ma'am yung kanyang pagdidiscuss until the end of the period. O, inuubos niya yung time. Okay, so yung letter B mo kasi sabi as little as she could. Okay, so konti lamang tinuturo niya. Yung letter C mo naman, showbiz. Okay, nakikis-showbiz balita siya. Yung letter D mo naman, entertains her students with stories. Okay, so storya lamang. Pero hindi siya nagtuturo ng tama, puro siya kwento ng kwento. So the correct answer would be letter A for number 12. All right, number 13. If this need is not met, the student tends to be critical and always tries to find fault. This is the need. Is it letter A for recognition, for adventure, to trust? Letter D for material security. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot sa number 13? Thank you so much po for all your positive comments, Sir Loreto, Ma'am Jella, thank you, and Ma'am Faith. Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot natin for number 13? Alright, so sabi sa question number 13, kung hindi nami-meet ang need na to, ang estudyante ay palaging nagiging critical, so the student tends to criticize and always tries to find fault. What need is this? Is this the need for recognition, for adventure, to trust, for material security? Now, this is under Erik Erikson's 8 stages of psychosocial development. Okay, so we know that we have 8 psychosocial stages, okay, or 8 stages in psychosocial development according to Erik Erikson. So there's trust versus mistrust, when we are infant, autonomy versus shame and doubt, etc., initiative versus guilt, in industry versus inferiority, identity versus role confusion. Then you have intimacy versus isolation as a young adult, and generativity versus stagnation, middle-aged adult. And of course, you have integrity versus despair as an older adult. Now, the correct answer here would be trust. Okay? Hindi nakadevelop yung bata ng trust. Hindi siya nakadevelop ng nung trust nga. Okay? So, the need for the development of trust was not developed, was not met. And so, the student or the child is always critical and is always trying to find fault. Yung child ay meron siyang trust issues. Hindi siya nakakapag-trust ng maayos, hindi siya nakakapag-trust na maigi sa iba't ibang tao dahil nga hindi niya na-develop yung virtue of trust niya. Now, if you want to have the proper, the complete discussion on this, hanapin niyo po yung ating video na ito, Let 2020 Professional Education. Yan po yung picture na meron sa ating video. Doon po diniscuss ko na lahat-lahat yung different stages ng Erik Erikson's 8 Stages of Psychosocial Development. Kaya po hindi ko na i-discuss in detail ngayon dahil nandiyan na po sa ating video. So kung hindi nyo pa po nakikita yung video yan, tingnan nyo po siya, lahat po ng theories sa professional education ay nandiyan na po sa video yan. Okay, so the correct answer for number 13 is trust. Dahil nga hindi na-develop yung virtue of trust niya, siguro ay hindi siya na-feed. Okay, kaya napaka-importante na pag umiyak yung bata, wag po nating hayaang umiyak siya ng ilang oras bago natin padidehin dahil in that period po, in that duration, 0 to 18 months, the child is trying to develop the virtue of trust. So the child becomes very dependent on the caregiver, the mother, for example. So dapat pag umiyak na yung anak mo, merong something wrong sa bata, or especially if the child is hungry, you need to give him or give her the milk bottle na padidehin yun na siya, or breastfeed if you are trying to breastfeed. Okay, so hindi po pwedeng paiyakin natin yung bata for a very long time because in that case, pag yan po yung nangyari, the child becomes very critical and the child is going to mistrust people. Kaya kalimitan sa atin ay may mga trust issues. Yung mga meron kang boyfriend, meron kang girlfriend, kahit na hindi ka naman niloloko, ay sinasabi mong talagang niloloko mo ako. Okay? Talagang hindi ka honest, talagang hindi ka loyal sa akin. Okay? Binubukadkad mo yung mga text messages ng boyfriend mo, ng girlfriend mo, or tinitingnan mo yung mga messenger chat niya, no? Yung chat niya sa messenger, dahil nga meron kang trust issues. Hindi ka masyadong nakakapag-trust sa mga tao. Maaaring merong mali sa different stages nga, no? Your development according to Erik Erikson. Okay, shout out po to Sir Abby Tacado Vargas, my good friend, my former co-teacher in Ateneo de Iloilo. Thank you for watching. Please share Gurong Pinoy. Okay, so sabi nga iba, trust, big word. Okay, so again, balikan nyo po yung ating video. This one is the thumbnail of our video. So again, doon po na-discuss na lahat-lahat ng mga ProfEd theories natin. Okay, so balikan nyo po yan. And diniscuss ko po doon lahat-lahat in details. Okay? Okay, so sabi ni Sir Loreto, nasa isip ko naman kaya trust yung sagot ko ay dapat pagkatiwalaan mo lagi yung bata. Okay. So meron tayong trust issues minsan dahil may mali sa ating stages of development according to Erik Erikson. Okay, so number 13, letter C, is the correct answer. All right, now I'd like you to please send me your scores at the moment. Out of 13, ilan na po yung tama? Oh, ayan na naman si Sir Felix. Umi-emote na naman. Sasabihang ikaw lang pero may isa pa pala, double time is real in trust. Okay, so please send me your scores again. 9 out of 13, 11 out of 13. I hope you had the score of 18 out of 30. Okay, so 18 out of 30 po, that's 60% of all the discussion that we have today. Okay, very good, very good. A lot of you are showing a lot of improvement. Okay, now we go to the last two questions for ProfEd in today's discussion. Number 14, the theory of identical elements in learning holds that transfer is facilitated when the, letter A, teacher uses different teaching devices. Letter B, learner has a mastery of specific responses. Letter C, development task is easily identified. Letter D, experience is similar to the application situation. Ano nga ba yung tamang sagot sa number 14? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for number 14? Okay, a lot of you are choosing letter D, and that is the correct answer. Okay, so nandun na po sa ating video na sinabi ko sa inyong balikan nyo. Go back, again, go back to all the videos that we have in ProfEd. Meron din po tayong playlist na GenEd. Balikan nyo din po yan. And also the previous live streams in our playlist na GenEd and ProfEd live streams. Okay, balikan nyo po lahat ng videos natin, especially if this is your first time to join us. Okay, so letter D is the correct answer for number 14. Theory of identical elements. That means we can transfer our learning. We can apply our learning if the experience is similar to the application situation. Kung ano yung concept mo na napag-aralan sa classroom at similar yung nakita mong experience mo ngayon, ay maaaring ma-apply mo yung iyong learning. So that's the theory of identical elements. Pag pareha sila, pag halos pareho sila, halos the same sila, identical sila, and that means you can apply what you have learned as a concept in the classroom. Okay, so dapat as a teacher, we should be able to make our students apply what they learn in the classroom. Hindi po pwedeng meron lamang silang na-learn na concepts inside the classroom pero hindi naman nila na-apply sa totoong buhay. Okay, so dapat alam nila at alam nila kung paano i-apply yung concepts na learn nga nila sa ating classroom. Okay, so number 14 is D, and we go to our last question today. What is the most obvious and familiar way of reporting variability? Is it letter A, range between highest and lowest scores? Letter B, standard deviation? Letter C, standard error of the mean? Or letter D, distribution of raw scores? Thank you so much to our super fan, Sir Miguel. Nag-donate na naman si Sir Miguel, no? Yaman talaga ni Sir Miguel. Halos every live stream natin meron tayong donation from Sir Miguel. Thank you po. Sa iba dyan, pag gusto nyo mag-donate, baka naman. Okay? You are all very welcome po to give us any help. Ma'am Tessie, you were asking a while ago if my last name, if ako ay isang Saison. Yes, so when I was single po, my last name, my family name was Saison. And my family is from Tuburan in Cebu. Pero hindi po ako masyadong marunong mag-Bisaya dahil nga po lumaki ako sa Iloilo. Hindi ako marunong mag-Cebuano. Okay. So sabi dito, so number 15, the last question that we have here, what is the most obvious and familiar way of reporting variability? Now, remember, we have different measures in assessment. We have our measures of central tendency. Sa measures of central tendency po, meron tayong mean, median, and mode. Kung hindi nyo pa po napapanood yung video natin on that, make sure that you write your reminder on that in your notebook. Watch our video on the mean, median, and mode. Okay, so mean, median, and mode, these are our measures of central tendency. They check kung kaano po ka-clump, kung gaano po kalalapit yung scores ng ating students. Meron din naman tayong tinatawag na measures of variability or measures of dispersion. Measures of dispersion naman natin, chine-check nila kung paano ka diverse, kung paano kaiba, no, pagkakaiba nga ng score ng ating mga scores ng students. Okay, so that's the measures of variability. Now, ang measures naman natin ng variability, we have the range, we have the standard deviation, we also have the variance. Ito po yung tatlong common na ginagamit natin. Now, the answer for number 15 would be the range. Okay, so range po, ang pinaka-obvious at pinaka-familiar na measure of variability or measure of dispersion na ginagamit natin. Why? Because the range is very easy to use. Kinukuha mo lamang po yung difference between the highest score and the lowest score. Okay, so number 15 po, A ang ating tamang sagot. The range between the highest and the lowest scores are taken. Now, we don't use standard deviation. Standard deviation kasi medyo mahaba yung process, no? Medyo mahirap yung computation for standard deviation. So, to show you the formula for standard deviation, ito po, ipapakita ko sa inyo. Make sure that you copy this. Standard deviation is taken by getting the square root of the summation of the x, that's the score, minus the mean, okay, the average, and this quantity is squared. All right, over, this all over n minus 1. N would be the number of scores minus 1. Okay, so that's the formula for standard deviation. Make sure that you copy that in your notebook before I give you our sample problem. Kopyahin niyo po muna sa inyong notebook or maybe take a screenshot of it. Okay, so this is the formula for standard deviation. Okay, I hope you've already taken a screenshot of our formula. Now we go to the next slide. This slide here, I'm giving you a sample problem of our standard deviation computation. Okay, for example, Robert took a sample of 5 recent matches for his favorite soccer team. Here is how many goals the team scored in each match. Okay, so meron siyang 5 scores dito. Okay, so these are the scores, and he wants to solve the standard deviation. Okay, gusto niyang isolve ang standard deviation. So again, your formula for standard deviation is shown here. That's the square root of the summation of x, that's the score, minus the mean, the x with a bar there, that's the average, or the mean, the quantity is squared, all over n, the number of scores, minus 1. Okay? So that means for you to solve the standard deviation, unang-una muna, kukunin natin yung mean or your average, this one here. Okay? So kunin natin yung average. The average, of course, is taken by just adding all the scores, dividing it by n or the number of items that we have. Okay? So we have 0 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5 all over 5. 5 dahil meron tayong 5 items dito or 5 scores dito. Okay, so 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5, that's 10 over 5. So we divide those by 5. That means our mean, our average would be 2. Okay, so the mean or the average would be 2. And we proceed now to solving our standard deviation. Okay, so standard deviation again, that should be the square root of the summation of x minus x now with bar dapat to, no? X minus the mean, the quantity squared, over n minus 1. So we get the summation of this. So that means we have 0, that's the first score, minus 2. Yung 2 po is our average. Okay, so 0, the first score, minus 2 na average, the quantity is squared, plus 2, which is our second score, minus 2 na average squared, plus the third score, that is 1, minus 2, that is our average, squared still, plus 2, the fourth score that we have, minus the average of 2 squared, plus 5, the last score that we have, minus 2, the average squared, all over n, 5 po, dahil meron tayong 5 na scores, minus 1. That's part of our formula. Okay, so that would give us the square root of 4. Saan natin kinuha itong 4? 0 minus 2 is negative 2, and we square that. So negative 2 times negative 2, that would give us positive 4. Okay, then you have 2 minus 2, so that's 0. 0 times 0 would just be 0. Okay, then you have 1 minus 2. So 1 minus 2, that would be negative 1 squared. That's negative 1 multiplied by negative 1. That would give us positive 1. Then you have still 0. Katulad lang po siya ng second score natin. Then the last score, we have 5 minus 2. That would be 3 squared. So 3 times 3, that would give us 9. Okay, so that's 4 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0 plus 9 over 4. The 4 po is taken from 5 minus 1. Okay, so galing na po siya sa 5 minus 1. Okay, now adding it all up, that gives us 4 plus 1 plus 9. Neglect na po natin itong mga zeros. That would give us 14. Okay, so square root of 14 over 4, or that would be square root of 3.5, and that means our standard deviation is 1.87. Okay, so yan po yung ating sample problem for standard deviation. All right, so that ends our discussion today. I hope you have all learned from our discussion. Sa muli, make sure that you like this video. Do not abandon, don't skip ads. So if you are going back to some of our videos, please do not skip ad. That's one way for you to help us. Don't skip ad and don't abandon our videos. That means please watch our video from the beginning until the end, okay? I'll see all of you again on Saturday, that's 7 p.m. Again, if you still are not a member of GROW, make sure that you become a member of GROW. Ask someone to pay it for you through Palawan, ML, or Cebuana. The details for the payment would be found at the beginning of this video, also found in our Gurong Pinoy official Facebook page. All right? So I'll see you on Saturday night at 7 p.m. Make sure that you hit that bell button and you subscribe. Make sure that you receive our notification. So sa muli, ito po ang inyong Gurong Pinoy na nagsasabing sabay-sabay po tayo, maliit man na butil ng mga kaalaman, ang dulo nito ay malaking kaginhawaan. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig at sa inyong pagtututo, no? Natututo po tayo every night that we see each other. I'll see you on Saturday night. Good night, good evening, and God bless to all my students in Gurong Pinoy Online Review. All right, goodbye!